Hey guys, welcome to another edition of Chopped at Home. I'm so excited. Today I'll be making one of my all-time favorite snacks, Cheez-Its. As I am not able to purchase it readily where I live, I decided I'm going to make my own using ingredients I have at home. So let's get started. So here are the ingredients. I'll have the full recipe and instructions in the description section below the video. We have 4 cups of shredded sharp cheddar cheese. For best results, I recommend shredding a block of sharp cheddar cheese yourself. We have 2 ounces of shredded Emmentaler cheese, 100 grams of unsalted butter softened. Here I have a combination of 2 teaspoons of salt, 2 teaspoons of turmeric, 2 teaspoons of paprika, and 2 teaspoons of sugar. 4 teaspoons of nutritional yeast, which I sifted through a very small sift. And because I have it here at home, I have a special ingredient, which is my home brewed kombucha, but you can use regular cold water in place of this. If you're interested in brewing your own kombucha at home, I have an entire step-by-step kombucha brewing playlist. And the last ingredient is 1.5 cups of flour. You can use any flour of your choice, but here I have 3/4 cups of spelt flour and 3/4 cups of regular white flour, which I sifted together. So I'll be using my Kenwood stand mixer. So first we have the butter, and to that I'm going to add the Emmentaler cheese, the cheddar cheese, the combination of seasonings here, and the nutritional yeast. So I'm going to combine everything to make a blended paste. So I'm going to scrape the bottom and the side of the bowl to make sure everything is combined. Next I'm going to add the flour and then combine it. And it's formed sort of a crumbly dough. So I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of my plain home-brewed kombucha. If you don't have kombucha, you can add plain cold water, as I said before. And I'm going to add 1 more tablespoon of kombucha and give it a mix. So I've divided the dough into 2 equal parts here and formed 2 balls. And then I'm going to wrap each in some plastic wrap and place them in the refrigerator for a half an hour. So it's been a half an hour, and now I'm going to remove the plastic wrap from the dough. I have a rolling pin here, a cutting pad, which I lightly floured. So I'm going to roll the dough out as thin as possible, maximum 1/8 of an inch thickness. Okay guys, so I have a nice uniform rectangle here. My goal is to get it to 10.5 inches by 15 inches, which will make it easier for me to cut 1.5 inch squares. I've loosened the edges here, and I'm going to lift the cutting pad, and here I have a baking tray with some baking paper. I'm going to just take the cutting pad and lay it on top of the baking paper. So now I'm going to just peel back the cutting pad here. And we have our nice rectangle here. I have my straight edge and a pizza cutter, and I'm going to just cut along the edge here. So I'm going to align my straight edge and measure 1.5 inches. Cut lengthwise here. So I'm going to measure 1.5 inches. So I'm using a drinking straw to punch out the holes in the center. If you twist the straw just slightly, it will remove it really easily. So now the Cheez-Its are ready to be baked, and I'm going to place them in a preheated oven and bake at 375 degrees or 190 Celsius for approximately 15 minutes or until slightly toasted. So I baked them for 15 minutes and I left them for an additional 5 minutes just to crisp them up. So I've just removed the Cheez-Its from the oven and they look and smell fantastic. So I'm going to just remove them from the hot baking tray so that they can cool. If you have a rack, you could put them on one, but as I don't have one, I'm going to just let them sit here on the baking paper. And if any are stuck, you can separate them at this time. On the traditional Cheez-Its, you'll see salt on top, but as I'm trying to limit my sodium intake, I'm not going to add any at this time. If you wish to, now would be the time to do so. Look how amazing they look. So we're just going to let them cool and then come back and do a taste test. So after the Cheez-Its cooled, I place them on top of some paper towel to absorb the excess grease. So I bake them for about 15 minutes and let them sit just a little bit longer to toast up, as I said before. So we have some that are a little bit darker than the others. And I'm going to break this one and see how it sounds. So you hear the crunch and it's bursting with flavor, but the texture is not as crunchy as I expected it to be. So I'm going to try one of the darker ones and you can hear a distinct difference in the crunchiness. So now I'm going to taste that one. And this is definitely crunchier than the lighter ones, but they're equally delicious. So I would say if you need to, toast them up a little bit longer. Oven temperatures may vary, so just monitor it closely so you don't burn them. I think maybe I'll do another video adjusting the recipe just a little bit because I'd like them to be a little bit more crunchy without having to bake it for an extended period of time. So stay tuned for that. So now I'm going to store the Cheez-Its in an airtight tin lined with baking paper. So there you have it, guys, my chopped at-home version DIY Cheez-Its. Attempt number 1. Thanks for watching.